What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Rats Report. It's time to talk about the Toronto Raptors because it seems like there's a Western Conference team that could be targeting a couple of players from the Toronto Raptors come the NBA trade deadline. So I'm going to be talking about that, what a potential trade could look like between the two teams, what the Raptors would want from the Kings in return, and all of that fun stuff as well. So if you're ready to watch, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you wish to hit the subscribe button as well, that'd be very much appreciated. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and the shout out for today's video goes out to RS Bandy. So RS Bandy, thank you so much for supporting this channel through your likes and comments. It is very much appreciated. Now, this was being reported by Shams Charania. Shout out to all the updates on Twitter that were reporting that the Sacramento Kings are expected to be active on the trade market. Per Shams Charania, they're going to be involved in every star player, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, maybe Zach LaVine. Now, obviously, this is very interesting from the Raptors' point of view because we heard these rumors last season, yet come the NBA trade deadline, there was no action that really happened. Now, obviously, the Raptors have tried to trade Pascal Siakam, and it seems like they just weren't getting the offer they really wanted in return because they value their players very highly. And that's completely understandable. They don't attract a lot of free agents. So some of the way they've developed these players over the years has been really through the developmental system. But also these are two guys they have drafted as well. Now I'm going to come off the bat and say it right away. I don't think the Raptors trade OG Anunoby. It just doesn't make sense to trade OG and keep Pascal, strictly speaking, just because of the age gap between Scotty Barnes and some of the older guys in Pascal in particular. And, you know, just if you were to trade Pascal Siakam, or if you were to trade one of the players, I think OG is very valuable to the team. But let's talk about the Kings because clearly they want both, and I'm not going to talk about OG Anunoby to the Kings just for that purpose. But let's take a look at the Kings salary cap situation, and let's take a look at a handful of players that the Raptors may want in return for Pascal Siakam. Now, taking a look at the salary cap situation for the Sacramento Kings, of course, they're not trading De'Aaron Fox or Domantas Sabonis. Pascal Siakam makes about $37 million around that mark, so they would absolutely have to include someone like a Harrison Barnes for salary purposes. And now you go down the list. I know a lot of Raptors fans are big on Keegan Murray, and they're saying, if Keegan Murray is not included in this deal, I am not doing this deal. Well, let's be realistic. I don't think the Kings are giving up Keegan Murray just like that. Although if I'm Masai Ujiri, I absolutely want Keegan Murray as a starting point. But for the sake of this video, let's talk about some of the other guys as well. I think the Kings do have some intriguing pieces that could be moved in a trade that the Raptors would definitely want in return. Let's start with Malik Monk. He's making $9.9 million. He's definitely going to get a raise. He's 25 years old. He's listed at 6'3", which isn't huge, but we know he plays much larger than that. Now, taking a quick look at his statistics here, you'll notice he is an excellent free throw shooter. He's also a really good three-point shooter as well, and we know the Raptors definitely would want three-point shooters in return. And, you know, given the fact that they're not a strong free throw shooting team, that's definitely a bonus that he's able to hit his free throws at a very respectable rate as well. Now, some of the other aspects of his game I really want to talk about is his assist column. As you see, his assists have really taken a jump this season, averaging 5.4 assists. 13.6 points may not really jump at you, but I do want to remind people that he averaged 19 points in last season's playoffs, and that was his first playoffs ever. Also, just a reminder, he is 25 years old as well. So again, I know a lot of people may not be big on him, and also considering that the Raptors already have someone at the shooting guard position in Gary Trent Jr., I mean, you definitely could do a lot with Gary Trent Jr. as well if you want to move him and maybe fill some other positions as well. But Malik Monk is not a bad player I'd want to return. Now, some of the other players, obviously, Kevin Huerter is a name you're going to have a look at a lot. 25 years old, great three-point shooter. I just think, you know what, he's making a decent amount of money, right? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a good three-point shooter, and you definitely need those. But some guys like Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, look, the thing is, you're absolutely doing the Kings a favor by taking on a really bad contract in Harrison Barnes. I think his game has really declined this season, and you're definitely seeing it. And as he approaches his early 30s, I think that contract's going to look worse and worse. So again, you're doing them a favor, but there are some other handful of players I really like. Trey Lyles is a very interesting piece, although you could argue the Raptors already have too many power forwards off the bench in Precious and Chris Boucher, and that's not including Christian Koloko, who should definitely fill that center position for the Raptors once he returns as well. But some of the other names you could potentially throw in are Davion Mitchell, Chris Duarte, if you really want him. Again, I'm not really big on Chris, given the fact I think his age is just a huge factor, but Davion, a little bit disappointing. You know, he averaged 11 points in his rookie season, and the last two seasons, he's averaged 5 points, including this season. He had a golden opportunity to really step up when De'Aaron Fox got injured, and, well, his stats didn't look all that great. So, again, the Kings don't have a lot of valuable young assets that they can throw your way, but they do have interesting role players that you could definitely throw in the way again. So for salary purposes, you're looking at someone like a Harrison Barnes, Kevin Herter, Malik Monk. At least two of those guys would have to be included absolutely for salary purposes. I'm probably leaning on the Malik Monk, Harrison Barnes, and someone like a Davion Mitchell plus future first round picks as well. So again, it's not a package that will definitely intrigue Masai Ujiri. He obviously values Pascal very highly as well. And there's not a great prospect with respect to the Kings and Davion Mitchell in particular. There's not a great prospect you're getting in return. I think Malik Monk could be an excellent player on the Toronto Raptors with higher usage as well. He's a shot creator as well, which is really good. And again, I just don't see how a trade gets done unless the Sacramento Kings get really desperate and they throw in Keegan Murray and multiple first-round picks as well, which we know they're not going to do for an expiring contract for Pascal Siakam. So again, very interesting that we're hearing these rumors. And given, the fact that Kings are kind of a team that's, I wouldn't say they're contenders, but they're right in the middle. They're anywhere from the 4 to 6 range where the standings they'll likely finish. But we know they're not beating some of the better teams as well. So I can definitely see the desperation from the Kings' point of view. And just given, DeMontis is 27. I mean, he's only getting older from here. He's not getting younger, even though he's just entering his prime. I think it would be interesting, if the Raptors and the Kings were to have a discussion and to see how really desperate the Kings are. So again, those are my thoughts on this. I don't really see a trade happening there. And personally speaking, I mean, I'm a huge Pascal Siakam fan, but I just don't see anything that's really intriguing from the Raptors' point of view anyway. So that's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts and what players you would want in return from the Kings if the Raptors were to trade Pascal, and if you would trade OG Anunoby to the Kings as well. So that will be it for today's video. I do have a trivia question before you click off as well, so don't leave yet. And let's get into today's trivia question. And the trivia question for today is, which Raptors player leads the team in defensive rebounds per game? Is it A, Pascal Siakam? Is it B, Jakob Poeltl? Is it C, Precious Achiuwa? Or is it D, Scotty Barnes? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. So that will be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.